Well, that's a very good question, and it's a very pertinent one at that. Local government has come to stay, but we are learning every day. Before now, the local government used to get their allocation directly happened then. And now that the allocation still comes directly, but the state plays a supervisory role. And that supervisory role is more or less a filling gap role. What I mean by that is that the state needs to supervise in a way that will make payment of salaries steady. In the past, when the allocation goes directly to the local government, we have the experience of local salaries for months to years. At least we have recorded a situation whereby local government cannot pay salary for 21 months, which is very close to 2 years.
Because of zero allocation?
Not zero allocation, they mismanage it there. But now, when the allocation passes through, goes to the local government, before they can spend it, the state, we as a ministry, then Ministry of Local Government supervising the local governments in the state, we have to oversee. One, we have what goes to the obas, which is statutorily 5% of whatever that comes to the ministry of, to each local government. And the money goes back directly to the council of obas. And later, first line charge is the salary of workers, which means before they can do anything, they have to make sure they deduct what goes to the teachers and the local government staffs. And that is what we call statutory deduction in the money. So to some extent, we have been able to stabilize the local government administration because the local government cannot function without the workers. And when you refuse to pay them their salaries, you will discover that everything will be in shambles. And that is why I would say to some extent, one, it's good, at times their money goes directly to them, because as it is with local government administrators, so also is still with a manageable number of some states that will mismanage.
In fact, that is the question I was to ask. That we have a number of states that couldn't pay salaries of their workers.
Yes.
You have some who clearly mismanage, misappropriate, and embezzle resources.
Yeah.
You have a number of cases before the EFCC and the ICPC affecting this or that governor of this or that state. Will that now make the federal government to pretend the affairs of states?
No, the federal system we are practicing is very clear on that.
Okay.
The federal government cannot supervise the state because the states, to some extent, has their own geographical boundaries.
Like local governments?
Like local government.
Okay.
But the problem with the local government is that they cannot directly derive their powers from the federal government without passing through the state because they are within a particular state. And experience has shown that without that supervision, I am telling you, the local government will go back to where it was when salaries were not paid. So, and that is why I still believe, to a large extent, the local government is doing fine under the control and the supervision of the states.
Okay, you have complaints from a number of states, especially some other geopolitical zones. Maybe pockets also from our own geopolitical zones of states not being fair, in quotes, to local governments when it comes to disbursement of their funds. We even have instances of allegations having to do with some states taking over the whole allocation of local government. just giving them tips. How do you see that?
The law does not permit that.
Okay.
And that is why we have what is called JAC. And in the JAC meeting, that is a meeting comprising of the state functionaries at the local government, at the Ministry of Local Government, it only involves the governor to the extent that whatever those people approve is agreed to, is what the governor will approve. And which, to a large extent, explains the reason why the governor, no governor, can easily dip his hands into the pocket of the local government. There is, to some extent, there is sanity there. But it now depends on the quality of people. I always want to preach one thing, that we need orientation in this country.
Okay.
And when values are no longer in existence, you will discover that human beings can behave funny. Okay. So, to me, I still believe, well, we have pockets of state, like you have said. It happens, we have seen it, but it's marginal. It's not everybody. When we have 85% of the states that behaves the way the Constitution expects them to behave, then to me, I hope later the rest 15% will follow suit. And mismanagement, even in families, you see a father that knows this what and what he should do, he will leave them undone. I will later be talking about is somebody that is doing them. Let me tell you one thing, no state, no local government can survive without the workforce. And whatever you have to do, whatever you do with the workforce reflects in the town. If today workers get their salary, the traders in the town will know something is actually happening. But when you now refuse to pay their money, then surely the town will feel it. So the multiplier effect of paying and not paying is either positive or negative.
Okay. Now let's look at local government and their relevance here in terms of meeting the basic need of the people. Some will say don't call it a tier of government again. Okay. You just have two tiers, the states and the federal government. The states, they will say, are the federating unit, but they are still the closest to the people. And there are constitutional roles and responsibilities assigned to local governments. To what extent would you say they are performing it? Maybe taking the cue from Osun, for instance, so that our viewers at home will have elements of believability in what we are saying.
Well, I will still go back to what I've said earlier on, that we have to go back to our values. No doubt the local government is the closest to the people, and they live in the midst of their people. And the Constitution clearly spell out what their roles are supposed to be. And their roles, if creditably performed, will ease the sufferings of the masses. Because when they have rules and they are graded, the farmers will not complain about not having their farm products transported to the house. And there can't be any problem with erosion when they make sure that the gutters are properly managed. There are some things that can be averted if the local government performs their role. And I can see from our own state, like you know, that sometimes ago we embarked on the 10 kilometers. And all over the states now, you know there is no single local government where things are not done, assist or alleviate the problems of the people. So to me, the local government is performing here. We may not know of other claims, but in Osun State here, the local governments are doing to the best of what they have. We all know the economy melts down. We all know what happens to the allocations. And we all know the limited resources that is even going to the state, talk less of going to the local government. So they can only do within the limit of what they have. The resources now determines their performance. So when the allocation is good, I am sure they will do better, as far as also is concerned.
Okay, several efforts have been made at amending the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, most especially as it affects local government. Most of these efforts have resorted to nothing in practical terms. Even the current one that is ongoing, a number of State House of Assembly have outrightly rejected the idea of autonomy, full autonomy for local government for that matter. Why would you say this is so? And a lot of people are pointing accusing figure at some governors that most governors will not allow, will not want to see the local government free, autonomous, in practical and real sense, because according to them, the funds coming to the local government is of assistance even to the state.
Well, the autonomy we are talking about is a good thing if it happens, but it has to come with some forms of control.
Okay.
If there are no controls, I don't know what will happen to the local government system. It is good they know what will come to them. It is good they have their plans on what they want to use their resources for, independently. But it is still good for checks to be on them. At least there must be a form of control, supervision, or supervisory role rather, not control this time around. Okay, you have collected so much. What are your plans for this money? What are those things that you have to do? The local government have their budgets, the states equally have their own budgets. They are two separate things. And when we talk about autonomy, if our experience is anything to go by, definitely we will know that if the autonomy is given without some strings attached, what I mean by strings attached is the supervisory something about it, then we are still going back to where we were then. So to me, I would say good luck if it happens. There are several attempts, like you have said, and to the governors that you mentioned, well, they are only exhibiting the fears of what will happen. And whatever that happens,
the fear of the unknown?
The fear of the unknown, of mismanagement that has happened in the past. And the state will still have to bear the brunt. Because if there is any noise here, it is the governor directly. And what we are even practicing now, we have party system, we are in a democracy, where each party will have their own plans. How will a local government detach its own plan from that of the state? Hence, there is a need for the state to monitor if they are going along with their own vision. So that is what I mean by the supervisory role, even if the local government is to become autonomous.
Okay. A lot of people believe that the local government is of little or no importance again. They are questioning the relevance of local government. And they say, why not remove local government from the present constitution as we have it, which recognizes just 774. Yeah. For instance, in Osun, it recognizes just 30. And we have about 69. Yeah. Now, only God knows. Maybe we'll have more even tomorrow. Yeah. But those ones will not be recognized by the constitution. It's 500 local government. If every hamlet should become a local government, as far as the states are concerned, so be it. So that whatever is appropriated for local government will be added to the fund coming to the state, so that we know we have just one single line of authority, administration, and finance. How do you see that?
I will not subscribe to merging the local government with the state. It is good as it is now that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria recognized that we have 774 local governments. And we will see clearly that the local government has been able to do some things that the state will never see. For example now, how will the governor in Oshobo knows what is happening in Ashipa, where I come from, except the councillor there that will report to the local government chairman. So imagine the local government with the state will become an aberration, because the local government system has come to stay in our body system, in our politics, and in everything that we do. And we can only think of how to make it better. It will not be in the interest of the people who sees these people every day, who knows where to go to, and who will always have the opportunity of saying, of asking questions, where and how are these things done this way.
Okay, part of the complaints of those advancing that is that when you look at states and local governments these days, in terms of composition of the authority, the political leadership of local government, most states don't conduct elections. And when they do conduct elections, the ruling party have always been winning. Look across the federation. It's not limited to the southwest, to the southeast or south, even north central, northeast, and northwest. And there's situations like that cause to question what is happening in those states as far as elections are concerned. Also, you have states independent electoral commissions cutting across all the states. They are under the purview of the governors appointing them. And they are saying, why don't you allow the National Electoral Commission to also handle elections into local government? Don't mind that we also have reasons. I mean, Nigerians have reasons to also question the independent National Electoral Commission on the elections the body conducted to states and federal houses of assembly, governors, and even the president.
National Assembly.
National Assembly too. So, how do you see this? What is the magic that will make a state, a ruling party in the state, to win 100% in local government elections? Why it will not be so in other elections?
Well, there has never been a perfect system in this country. To me, state independent electoral body can conduct elections where oppositions to we have some seats. It will only be less because of the bandwagon effect. Because you see, the thinking of our people is that it's like if we hold presidential election before any other election, the tendency for people to tilt towards where the president is there. So it is not like exercising more than enough powers. It only affects the psyche of our people that the president is here, and if I want to get anything substantial, I will get it through the president. So it's the same thing at the state level. When a sitting governor is there, and you want some dividend of democracy from the governor, the people there will talk to their people. The moment you don't cast your vote for this party, this is what will happen. So it is, to me, I don't see it as a fault of the state independent electoral umpire. But our own people who will feel they are not safe, who will feel they will not be able to get what they think they should, that will want to cast their vote for the ruling party. So it is not, to me, I'm not saying a situation whereby people will be forced to say, this is where you should cast your vote. Let me give you an experience.
Okay.
We had an election, and there was to be a 2 by-elections too. You know, the governor is already on seat, and they have by-elections to two state houses of assembly. Without campaigning to the place, the people are talking to themselves. What would these 2 people do, even if they win the election? These people, they have their own party manifesto, they have their own vision, they have everything. I'm looking into it. So it is the people that think that way. Some people might take advantage of it, and we cannot be the same. Some can go to any length to misuse power, but it's always not good enough for the kind of politics that we have been playing. And in this part of the country, I've not been seeing such things happening.
Looking at the present wind blowing across the country as far as local government administrations are concerned, looking at the body language of the workers, most especially Norgay, what do you see in the future of local government administration in Nigeria? Is there any of that?
Well,
don't call it here, don't call it sector, okay? That unit of administration.
Local government, whether we amend the constitution, whatever that we do to the constitution, like I've said, the local government has come to stay. And we cannot have the uniform people again in this part of West Africa. And the moment that is not possible, then definitely the local government, you know, the military people, they are used to unitary system of government. Okay. And that is why they don't even want to hear anything about local government or whatever. Their own is by decree. But when we have democratic settings, I can assure you that the local government will continue to be, except that where there are lapses or where we feel, and you have talked about Norgay. He said, what is the hope and what is the Norgay will always be the mouthpiece of the local government. They must always fight for the autonomy in the local government system. But they have forgotten one fact, that once upon a time, the local government has been receiving, even under Babangida, has been receiving their allocation directly. And what was the experience then? What I would suggest is that they can marry the two together and see how we can move forward. My own position is that the local government must stay, because no, the local people, the community people, they are benefiting in one way or the other.
Okay, before we are done with local government, moving to the other aspect of the program, which I had spoken earlier about, still talking about the future of local government administration in Nigeria. What do you think can be done to ensure that elections are held periodically and as at when due, the way it is done at the federal and state level for local government in this country?
That is where I think the federal government has a lot of work to do. Okay. If the constitution is to be amended, I would suggest that it must be a matter of compulsion that there shouldn't be caretakers again in the local government system. The Constitution is the only thing that can ensure that. And the moment that is done, nobody wants to play with it. Nobody wants to play with it. Because when you have caretaker put in place, they are not responsible to anybody, except to those people they know. But when you want to hold a lecture, they have to talk to people. And when you talk to people, you have to make promises. You make promises along your party manifesto. And people will have questions if you are not doing those things that you have promised them. But a caretaker chairman can decide to sit in the capital of the state, only to go to the office and come back to the capital. But if elections, if a chairman is elected into the office through the box, he has questions to answer. But the caretaker has no question to answer anybody. That is why I would suggest that it is a constitutional matter, if the constitution is to be amended at all, that no room again for caretaker.
Okay. Now let's go to your recent assignment, which is the board chairman of Osun State Health Technology Nation. Let's look at this group from history. You know, if you don't know where you are, at least you must know where you are coming from.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you don't know where you are going, you must know where you are.
Yes.
Let's look at where we are coming from as far as that institution is concerned and where we are today.
Well, the first time I went to the school on supervision, I refer to the school as a glorified secondary school, because there is nothing that suggests that it's an institution, a tertiary institution, that is training the manpower for the health sector in the state and in the country. But where it was then, that is some few months ago, if you get there now, I'm sure we have succeeded in doing some little things. And today, we went for the budget discussions with Ministry of Budget and Planning. And you know, if you want to build a city, you must have a master plan. When you have a master plan, it means you have what you think you want to see in the future in that school. So, and we have started. And I'm sure in the next couple of years, whosoever that gets to that place will know something good is coming out of the school. And I visited their hall, no chairs, nothing. If you get there today, I am sure probably they are delivering the chairs as I speak now. They renovated the hall, and we have done some renovations in the school. When I got to the school, no single head of department has an office. And today, an administrative block has been approved, which will commence any moment from now. Because if you want to train people, you want to train those people that will take care of the life of the people, they must be in a very good environment. When I got there, I discovered that all the HODs, none of them ask anything that can be referred to as mobility. I called the provost. How do you want these people? You see all of them carrying their books, running to the classrooms. If we cannot do it once, at least we must start to get them something. And to the glory of God, I'm sure, out of the 10 HODs that we have there, I can speak conveniently that 5 of them have their own official car, with which they can come to their place of work on time. Because if a person is not convenient, if the office is not conducive, if the man cannot determine his own time, you must not expect the best to come from such. a worker or a civil servant. But Rome was not built in a day. We are just moving little by little. When we talk about infrastructure, we must talk about those people that will train, those people that will have to go out and give the best to the people. So that is where we are now.
Okay. Now let's look at the school. How important you see it is to the health sector of Osun and Nigeria?
Without the school, I can tell you authoritatively that the health sector will collapse. Yes, the environmentalists, they are trained from that school. Most pharmacy technicians are trained from that school. Those people that will fill the gap between the medical doctor and the non-teaching staff, they are the ones that used to do the major work there. And they are the ones being trained in that school. Which means no doctor in the hospital can conveniently carry the utensils. No doctor in the hospital or wherever they are, the health assistant will have to make sure that the environment is in a very good shape. You can't expect the doctor to come and say, one person has a wound and you expect the doctor to come and clean it down. It is these people that will do the major work. It is only the critical ones. That is, the doctors will only be there to save lives. But all these minor things, and from the very day we are born, it's like when you erect a building, you must always do some innovations every day. Ditto for human beings. So these are the people that you can always find around to help the people in the health sector. So very, very critical set of people are those people that we are training there.
Okay, I have that question in lieu of, I wouldn't know whether you've heard of it, something that is going on in town. There was a time in Nigeria that when you hear of Wole,
yes,
you always
shiver.
And today, a lot of things are happening. In those days when you get to market in various towns, you meet them.
Yeah.
They move around compounds and even houses.
Yes.
There is this thing that people say jokingly, so they will live with the other you.
Yeah.
Okay. And that is to show the intensity of what they were doing. Today, a lot of people will tell you the reverse is the case. And they will say that is why we are having so many health challenges. Yet we still have these environmental health officers. Yet we are still training them. Yet we are still committing fraud into it. So what is the problem?
The problem has to do with the society itself. Like I've said, when the Woles were so effective, the population was not as large as this.
Okay.
And now in Nigeria we don't even know our accurate number. Yes. If today we have a census, you will discover that the gap between the last one and now is almost triple the population that we have. One, all these things we are talking about has to do with planning. Where if you know, you plan for it. In those days that you are talking about, there is a limited number of people that a Wole will have to be attached to. For example, if in my town we have just 500 people in those days, only 10 Woles will be able to manage them. If we are talking about Woles now, let's take Odi Market for example. How many Woles do you think they will take to that place to monitor it on the market day? Are they going to draft everybody, all the number that they have? What we produce from our school is not enough for Ife-Dizazone alone. What I am trying to say is that the number of those people that are coming for training, they are not enough to cater for the health units that we have in the country. So it is the gap between the number and the population that I can adduce to be the reason or the factor behind all the lapses that we are finding today.
So how do we get over the lapses?
Well, we have to get our planning right. We have to ensure that we know our number. Like the same thing for education. There is a limited number of students or pupils that a teacher will have to take if he wants to make sure there is effective teaching in what a teacher is doing. So the same thing goes for this. And if we want to, we have to know our number. When we have a number, how many of these people can cater effectively for it? When we complain about not having enough willy-willies, how many willy-willies will come from our own school? And that is why we are,
do they employ all those who are getting out of this school?
There is no willy-willy that is jobless. Go and find out. Because they always wait for them.
Okay.
They always wait for them. But the infrastructure that we have there will not be able to take more than what our capacity can cope with. So,
and don't you think you need expansion?
We need expansion.
How do you get that done?
Well, it all depends on the resources available. It all depends on the resources available.
You are not training mainly for government. You are also training for the private sector. Is there an opportunity of private-public partnership?
Yes, there can be that, but one, the first thing that matters is to have good infrastructure that will be able to inculcate into the few that will even train to be effective on the field.
Okay.
And it all boils down to issue of money. And that is the limitation that we have.
Okay.
And I'm sure with time we'll get over it. But that's the need for population. Know our exact number. Let there be proper planning. In the education sector, this is what we want to have. In the health sector, this is what we want to have. If we know the projected number of willy-willies that can take care of Oshu, then our aspiration must be towards getting that number.
But apart from your own level, your own institution, the other institutions also training environmental health officers.
Yes, we have
private.
Yes.
Okay.
We have private institutions too.
Okay. And you have universities training some also.
I don't think university train health assistants.
Okay.
Yes.
They train
and
officers.
They train officers.
Okay.
They can train nurse.
Okay.
But what we are doing, and that is why I said our own school is very, very critical.
Basic.
Yes, to the health sector. And nobody can fill the gap.
Nobody can fill the gap, and it's critical, and it's basic, it's fundamental.
Yes.
And you are painting the picture you are painting now. And then hope for tomorrow?
Yes, there is hope. If
the population keeps galloping.
If the population keeps galloping, well, I pray the untoward does not happen. We have to check our population, we have to control it, and we have to get a master plan on how to contain all these things. It is only in Africa that all this happens. Look at UK. Their monarch dies today. The following day, another person is there.
Yeah, it keeps coming.
Yeah.
A number of towns now have lost their monarchs.
Yes.
Yet, they've not been able.
Litigation here and there. Litigation here and there. Let me tell you, we must have a policy. We must have something that will keep all this system working, even without anybody.
Is it not too late in the day?
No, nothing is too late.
We are in Nigeria. We've seen what happened in Britain.
Yes.
And we've seen the seamless transition.
Yeah.
Okay, but to now say yes, what they practice there, can we practice it here, is another thing entirely. There will be lots of more litigations that
because they have succeeded in institutionalizing their policy.
Yes, that is what I'm.
So
but you still have communities here in Nigeria.
Yes.
Where you know who to succeed who.
Yes. By their own experience and what they feel will keep them going.
Okay, so much we can take on the nation today. We've looked at the local government administration and the health sector, most especially as it has to do with the training of basic fundamental health workers.
Yes. In
Nigeria, talking about environmental health officers, pharmacy technicians, and others. And they have been as our guest on the program, Honorable PC Odewumi, former special advisor of local government and chief agency affairs to the Osun State government, who is now the chairman of the board of College of Health Technology. We appreciate you a great deal, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us.
Yeah.
We want to appreciate all the crews who have been involved, and I specifically put it that way. Those handling cameras, MCR, VTR, those doing the recording, okay? Those are the transmitters' end. Those are the transcasters' end. We appreciate you all. And to our viewers, it's because we are there that we are here. Akinola Olabi is my name. Hopefully you have a repeat edition of this program, this particular one, on Saturday between 2 and 3 p.m. And by next Thursday, we'll be meeting again on this program. I'm assuring you for another personality. Until then, Akinola Olabi is my name. I say thanks for being there always. Bye-bye for now.
The Nation Today. Incisive, compelling, contemporary, soul-searching, and thought-provoking. Indeed, knows bar. On The Nation Today, showing today on OSBC television. The Nation Today, capturing the